Well, goodness, my friends, look where we are. We've found ourselves in busy season, and this is that time of year when I get the most emails from frantic photographers. Frantic photographers. That has a nice ring to it. That should be like a podcast episode or something. Frantic photographers. It is the season for frantic photographers. So that means that this time of year is when I get the most emails from photographers asking, "Hey, how do I get started?" There are a lot of frequent questions, and one of those frequent questions is regarding presets. How do I use presets? I want to answer that question today. That's the question of the day. How do you deal with presets? So let's establish this. With presets and using any service like ours, it's going to be somewhat limited. Now let me explain. When you use a service like ours, presets are used to establish a good baseline, okay? So our services in general are designed to create a good baseline. Let's say you have 700 images. From beginning to end, we want things to look very cohesive, very consistent. That's the idea. We want the white balance, the skin tones, of course, to look beautiful and consistent from beginning to end. We want the overall brightness and contrast to have the same look and feel. And so that is the purpose of using a service like ours, where we can establish that good, clean baseline edit. Then when you get your images back on the other side, that's when most of our happy clients will take their favorite 10 or 20 or 30 images or whatever and work with them creatively. That's when they kind of let their creative juices flow, because all the heavy lifting has already been done, and they still have that like creative energy, and they have that energy to tackle those 15 or 20 or 30 images. It goes well. That's a great workflow, and that's how I would encourage you to look at it. So in regards to presets, if you have a preset that you use as your starting point, apply those presets, or apply that preset, I should say, apply that preset to your images before you send us your Lightroom catalog. Okay, so without getting into the kind of technical talk, the tech talk of why that's best, there's a couple things. So number one is when you purchase a preset from Visco or whoever, you're probably breaking the agreement that you checked when you bought that software, that you're going to send it to us. I mean, I've talked to the guys at Visco. They're actually cool with us using presets, but let's just play it safe and let's just do it right. If you have a store-bought preset that you use, just apply it to your images before you send us that Lightroom catalog. So that way we're not messing with any user agreements or licensing agreements. But the real bigger picture is this, that when you install a store-bought Lightroom preset, it's installing a lot of other things in the background. A lot of little, pieces that go into folders unseen on your hard drive. And in order for those presets to work properly, those things really do need to be in place. And so when you send us a preset, it might not be the complete piece. That's a problem. That means that it's not going to look the same when we apply it on our side. So what's always best is on your side, before you send us your Lightroom catalog, just apply that preset to everything as the starting point. That gives it the baseline. And what happens is everything is then embedded into your Lightroom catalog. It's safe, it's easy, it's clean, it's simple. Let's do it that way. Okay, now in regards to Lightroom catalogs, of course, that brings up another question. Do you use Lightroom catalogs for every single shoot? Or are you creating one big master catalog that you use for everything, maybe for an entire year, or maybe it's just everything you've ever shot? No problem in either direction. Okay, we have a workflow that accommodates both, and there's lots of info on the blog that you can find. So when you go to send us your Lightroom catalog, just apply that preset and make sure that it's all good and everything has been applied before you send it to us. That way everything's embedded in that Lightroom catalog and it can't be messed up. Okay? Now when it comes to the creative effects, I'm always going to encourage you to send off your catalog to us to get that good clean baseline, and once you get it back, then you can take your creative energy into applying those creative filters. But I'm going to warn you, please, this is just, an honest opinion. Take it for what it's worth. Let's not overuse presets. Don't go so heavily handed with those presets that it overshadows the work you did in camera. Okay? I want you to work hard to be a great photographer, to hone your timing, your composition, your lens selections, I want you to work on dialing those things in. I don't want you to rely on presets to carry your work. Okay, we've all seen it. We've seen those images that are so overprocessed that it just distracts. It kind of distracts from the original image. I want you guys to be such great photographers that you could send out an image out of camera and still stun people. Okay, let's be that kind of photographer. And of course, we're always going to need to do a little brightness, contrast, white balance adjustments, that kind of stuff. So we'll go there. But anyway, when it comes to presets, let's think of them as a good baseline and then using a small batch of presets to apply to a small batch of images, maybe the highlight images of the day. Hope that answers the question. I love doing these frequently asked questions, especially on video and on live stream. I would love for more of you guys to ask some specific questions that maybe haven't been answered before. Maybe they have, but maybe they haven't been answered for you. I would love to answer that question for you. So if you're still with me at this point, thank you. High fives. And don't be shy. Ask that question, all right? Hope that answers your question. Let's finish this busy season strong. Stick with it, people. And don't be shy to ask for help. We're here to help you. 3 to 5 business days turnaround time for most orders. In fact, right now it's really doing well. We're doing really well. We're doing it about like 3 to 4 business days. I've actually seen some orders be turned around next day without even ordering the upgrade. So we're on it, people, and we're on your side. We're on your team. We want you to succeed. So anyway, hope you all are well. Take care.